Some big movies released this weekend, and who better to tell us all about it, if we should see them, skip them? Patrick Beatty, our film critic. And I'm so curious about the list that you brought this time, especially the first one we've talked a lot about.
Pinocchio, the live action.
Yes, well, what a strange group of films that we're going to be talking about today. And Pinocchio is the newest remake. There's two coming out this year. One is by Robert Zemeckis, which is this one, and Guillermo del Toro is doing a version of Pinocchio as well. So is this one wooden, or does it end up being like a triumph?
All right, let's take a look.
So Robert Zemeckis, he's one of the best directors of all time. He did the Back to the Future films. He's done incredible work up until this point with Pinocchio, which to me might be one of the weakest new Disney live remakes that they've put out so far. This thing is hollow, emotionless. You think that I'm kind of going out on a limb here trying to say that this is like really not something you should watch, but I don't even think kids could engage with this.
Really?
There's
Okay,
a little bit of
it?
uncanniness with the visual effects when you see Tom Hanks interacting with Pinocchio, like touching his hand. You can kind of see the effects like blending into each other, like his hand disappears into Tom Hanks at one point. The dialogue, nothing is really done in this that makes me feel like it was worth coming out. And this is the movie that got Disney their first Oscar. So
wait a second. I mean, this is a story that, you know, they're going by the storyline. Is the story just weak, and is the acting weak? I mean, we're talking about Tom Hanks, so that's a lot to say.
Well, that's the thing with Tom Hanks. We've talked about Tom Hanks before, and especially with this year, I wasn't a big fan of him with Elvis. And the same situation is here, where he kind of hams it up too much, where it just seems like he's not Geppetto, but he's Tom Hanks playing Geppetto. I loved him as Walt Disney in Saving Mr. Banks, but with this, he doesn't need to be in every main father figure type role. I hope that maybe he branches out, does something a little more serious.
I'm with you. I think he can be a little overrated. I get a lot of flack for that. But anyway, you say ultimately skip it?
I would say, yeah, probably skip this one.
Well, what if you do have Disney Plus? I feel like my kids are anticipating it, and so we'll maybe watch it. Is it worth a watch?
Here's what you should do. Check out Pinocchio for the first 5 minutes. Give it the 5-minute rule. If your kids are out by that point, jump into Thor: Love and Thunder, because that's on Disney Plus right now.
All right,
that is what I can get into.
Okay, next, Barbarian. What's this? Set it up.
Ooh, so what do they call them? An Airbnb turns into a nightmare in Detroit by a couple that happen to find each other in it, but let's take a look.
Okay, Patrick, what do you think?
So this is Bill Skarsgård, and if you know him from It, he plays Pennywise, so there's going to be a lot of horror in this that you can see. But they have a bit of a misdirect, and I'm excited for people to see this and see exactly what they actually have uncovered with this. It's one I would say try, because there's a lot of blood, there's a lot of gore, so people that aren't the biggest fan of the crazy horror films might not be into this. However, there's a lot of scary moments, so I would be kind of on the fence. Check this out, but don't expect a lot.
There's a lot of suspense, you would say, but not a lot
Very
of gore.
much. Okay. It's one of those where you're just yelling at the screen to not do the things they're doing.
End of the Road, what is that all about? Not a family film, it's R-rated.
No, so this is a Queen Latifah, Ludacris-led film, and this is, I think, the first time that both of them have been on screen as co-leads, and they're really great together. The chemistry's great, but the story is pretty lackluster. This is one of those films that you can watch with a group and kind of laugh at the silliness of the writing and the cheesiness that gets put into this, but it's a little bit spooky, so there's some suspense.
All right, let's take a look.
Well, same thing I was saying before. It's not really one that I would recommend checking out, because it doesn't hit that high mark of something that you can be engaged with. At the end, it ends up being more comedic than anything.
Oh, that's too bad. I love Queen Latifah.
Yes,
but it's
she's a good
skip
lead.
it.
Yeah, it's a skip it for me. There's not a lot of good ones, but Elvis on HBO Max, Thor: Love and Thunder on Disney Plus.
There's options.
Still things you can
Patrick,
check out.
where do we follow you?
Just on the website, patrickbeattyreviews.com, and on all my social media.
Thank you.